Welcome. Are you a food and fitness lover? I'm Chef Tina Martini. Welcome to the Ageless Kitchen. You might know me as the Medicine Chef. Well, today in my book, Delicious Medicine, The Healing Power of Food, if you've got your copy, Chef, go ahead and turn to page 32, and we're going to make the simplest, easiest, fastest, most delicious soup ever. Broccoli soup, and you can use cream or you can use something vegan. So it's really versatile, and it's something that everybody's going to enjoy. So let's get started. Well, you can see that I've broken down the broccoli. I've got some beautiful broccoli heads here. Now, when you get good quality organic broccoli, you can see a blue hue to the florets, and that is sulforaphane. That is one of the most powerful cancer fighters we know of. Women, particularly, you need to have a cruciferous serving at least once every day. So our broccoli today is going to be thickened. We're going to use just a little bit of our favorite gluten-free flour, but mostly it's going to be thickened by the stock itself. And it's a really great thickener for the cauliflower soup as well, so we don't have to use a bunch of binder or flours and things of that nature. All right, so if you take a look in here, I've got some onion caramelizing, and I've taken it to just a little bit of a golden. We're going to turn our fire down. Let's go ahead and add the stem or the stalks of the broccoli. That's going to take longer to cook, and again, it's also going to thicken. Now, what does broccoli offer us? Oh my gosh, a whole world of phytonutrition. What do you know about indole 3 carbanols? Well, let me tell you what we know, chefs. They're like little Pac-Men that go in through the bloodstream, and they clean off all the damaging free radicals from the cell walls. Now, if your cells don't get damaged, well, guess what? You don't age. So we really like that about the broccoli because it's one of our most powerful anti-aging tools. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of the florets, but I'm also going to save some of the chopped florets to give a little texture to the soup. Now, if you like your soup pureed all the way down, we're going to employ the boat motor. If you don't have one of these, you can be really careful and use your blender to blend hot liquid, but remember to take off the little plastic center and hold a damp towel over the top. Safety first, chefs. So when we're blending hot liquid, the boat motor or the immersion blender is our #1 chef toy. But if not, we're going to go ahead and use our blender really safely with that damp towel over the top. All right, we're going to go ahead and save these to add texture to our soup. And if you want to just run your knife through and break them down a little bit more, go ahead and do that. Now, chefs, what's the most dangerous thing in the kitchen besides me? Well, it's a dull knife. So you want to take your knives in at least every 3 months to somebody good, reputable in your town to sharpen your blades for you, and it makes your chef work that much easier. All right, let's see how the stems are doing. Let's go ahead and bloom our basil. So I'm going to add that in, and I'm just using a good quality dry basil. And so we're going to let the aroma increase on that and really release the essential oils. As you notice, everything's going into the stock pot, so it just couldn't be faster or easier. Let's let that work for just a minute. I'm going to put in a little bit of butter. You can use the Miyoko's Creamery or whatever butter you like. I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of regular butter. And again, I'm always going organic, and I hope you are as well. So we're just going to add that to the pot. So I'm just going to sprinkle in just a little bit of flour to help that thickening power. And I'm using King Arthur's gluten-free. They're my favorite mill. I really think their company has a lot of integrity, and your breads and all of your baked goods will come out so much better. So that's one of our friends that we like in the baking world, and I'm going to use it in our soup as well. All right, I've got a little bit of water here, and I'm going to use one of our vegan chef secrets, and that's a little bit of this chicken bouillon. Now, there's no chicken in here at all. It's really what we vegan chefs call golden broth, and this company is wonderful. There's a lot of them out there that are doing the vegan broth for you now. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop in one of the chicken flavored ones, and it's just a little cube, just like grandma's bouillon. It's really the same thing. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of water, and let's go slow. I'm going to add 2 cups at first, chefs, and just see how we're doing. Remember, the veg is going to release water, so we don't want to water our soup down. Go slow. You can always add more later, and that is a chef rule for sure. We want to add carefully, and then once we see where we're going, then we can go ahead and add more. All right, I'm going to turn the heat up, and we're going to get this cooking, get the flour thickening, get our bouillon cube to melt. And so that's just going to take about maybe 15 minutes or so. You can put a lid on to speed the process up, and I'll be right back to show you how we finish the easiest soup in the world, broccoli soup out of delicious medicine. All right, chefs, let's see how we're doing here and see if our broccoli is tender enough for us to use the boat motor. Let's see what we've got. Woo! Oh, looks perfect. Okay, so the pieces are breaking up with the spoon, so we can see that everything's tender enough to run the boat motor through and get a nice smooth soup. So I just go through with my spoon and break up a little bit and make it easier on the boat motor. And then remember, you're blending hot liquid, so we want to be careful with that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the fire down. You can turn the fire completely off. And then I've got my immersion blender, and we're just going to go ahead and put that right down. Hold your cord back, chefs. And hold the immersion blender down in the liquid, please. Don't pull it up because it's going to splatter you with boiling liquid. So please keep the boat motor down in the liquid. And then if you're going to change and go on top of the floret or something to really break it down, release the button and then put on top there and just blend as you go. And then when you're ready to go through the whole thing, just hold the motor down, or the blade, I should say. And then that way we're not getting splashed with hot liquid. All right, so I've got most of this broken down now. And as I said, if you like your soup all the way down pureed, go ahead and do that. But I do like a little bit of texture in my broccoli soup. So let's just go through again. And the stems are starting to really thicken it up nicely for us. So that looks good, chefs. I've got everything broken down. And let's just go ahead and put this to the side. And then remember our florets that we held to the side just to give our soup a little more texture. And these are smaller, so they're going to cook down faster. So I'm just going to go ahead and put everything in here, and we'll just toss this in the sink. And let's give a stir and see how we're doing. We probably need a little bit of salt, but we'll check for that in a moment. Now remember, your vegan bouillon has a little bit of the sea salt in it too. So we want to let that work into the soup, and then we'll go ahead and test. Oh, this looks fantastic. All right, and it smells great. So let's go ahead and put the lid back on. We'll give it another 6 to 7 minutes, and that way the broccoli florets will be really beautifully tender and have a nice bite as well. That way your diner is going to enjoy the silkiness of the puree as well as a little bit of texture from those perfectly crisp, tender florets. All right, we'll be right back to finish it up. We're taking it to the bowl next. Well, it smells like soup time to me. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, it's perfect. Okay, let's turn the heat way down now, chefs, because it's nice and thick now. Everything's really tender. I think I'm going to blitz it just a little bit more with the boat motor and smooth it out just a bit more. But wow, it's really looking great, and it is smelling great. So let's go ahead and just keep our blade down in the soup so we're not getting splashed. That looks great. And again, if we've got a bigger piece that we're going to blitz, we're just going to take our finger off. Okay, we're there. So as you can see, chefs, with the little bit of thickener and the stems, we've got a really nice rich soup here. But I like to finish it with just a little bit of cream. Now, if you're not doing dairy, I understand. You could do a little bit of goat cheese if you wanted, or a little bit of yogurt. I'm going to go ahead and use some heavy cream because guess what? Heavy cream is really high in something called alpha lipoic acid, and it's the least amount of bacteria in a dairy product. So if you look at the pull date on cream, it's really a long time, and it's because cream is lower in bacteria than milk. And I'm using Organic Valley. They're one of the only dairies that is actually approved by the Humane Society. They do not separate the babies from the mothers. So if that is a concern for you, I think that if you do research on this company, you'll find very good news on how they treat their animals. All right, so we've added that. Let's go ahead and give it a stir. And you'll see that that in itself will thicken the soup and give just a beautiful texture. This looks great. Let's go ahead and give it a taste, chefs, because we want to see if, what the salt level is, of course. You do taste everything before you send it out, don't you, chefs? Wow, really nice. I think we're good to go. Let's go ahead and take it to the bowl. All right, so get a beautiful vessel of your choice. And let's go ahead and give a nice big ladle. And the soup is really creamy. And it's got a nice little bit of texture to it. That looks great. All right. We'll take it to a pretty plate because we eat with our eyes. And then I fixed a little bit of Greek yogurt, but I've used the vegan yogurt. And so we've got an almond milk yogurt here with a little bit of the vegan Parmesan and a little pinch of salt. And what we can do is just drizzle that over the top of the soup and make a really beautiful little swirl because we're getting chefy, right? And then if you'd like, you can just pull that out and make a little bit of a sunburst in your bowl. Isn't that beautiful? And let's go ahead and top it with a little bit of our longevity friend, flat leaf parsley. And to you, chefs, here's to your health. We'll see you again in the Ageless Kitchen when it's time to make some delicious medicine. I'm Chef Tina Martini, and we're cooking the book. Soup spoon. There you go.
I'll try this.
You like it? It's nice with the texture,
like
yeah. The basil, some soups I like pureed all the way down. My roasted red bell pepper and tomato bisque. Hey, we're getting our indole 3 carbanols on. Basil is going to cure ovarian cancer. I juice basil for ladies that come to me. Do you guys want to take the rest of the soup home?
Yes, please.